everybody, this is Peggy for Cropstop.com, and tonight I want to show you how I got this really awesome background on my card. I know it's a too stinking cute card, if I have to say so myself, but what I really want to concentrate on is how we got the background. So let me show you some of the things that we're going to be using. These are new embossing folders that I just received from Cropstop. They're by Creative Expressions. The one I'm going to use tonight is called Crackle, obviously. That's how I got that Crackle look. But look at these other ones that they have. This one's called Flourish, and I've got some really great plans for this one. There'll be a video showing you how to use this one, and oh my goodness. Look at that lattice work. What I really liked about these is that they are the 5x7, so even though most of my cards are A2 size, so I only need like the 5.5 by 4.25 size for my card front, it's really nice that this is a 5x7 because then I don't get that crease on the top. Like some of the folders that are smaller, you'll get that funky little crease. With the 5x7 we won't. So we're going to use these folders, well, this folder, the Crackle, and I'm going to use some of the 10-second Studio metal, which you know I absolutely love their metal, and do a little bit of sanding on that. Here's a card front that I did. And then, I don't know if you know this or not, let me see if I can find my other little pack here. We also have Spellbinders, has a wonderful metal, and actually that's what this blue one is, so I want to show you that as well. And we'll use a little bit of sanding block, and we'll use Memento ink, and oh, wait till you see what I found out. Well, I should have already known, but I found out you can do with Copic markers. Well, let's get started. Now what I want to show you is the background here. I don't know if the camera can come really close for me. If you look at that background, that's a piece of the leftover paper that we worked on, I think it was the last video for the Manly Man card, and I used the Tattered Angels, Espresso Bean, and Pewter, the Glam and the Glaze, to make the background on that piece of paper. And you know, I never throw anything away, so I pulled that out because I thought it would go great with my little giraffe. And then, so there's that background, and then I embossed it. Then I took the walnut ink stain and just lightly went over it just to make it highlight the Crackle in that. Isn't that just awesome? Let me just show you how great that folder embosses. What I want to use first is a piece of the metal that's actually from the Spellbinders collection. The ones that I have available to me were the precious metals, and so you can see on the front it shows you all the different metals that you have. And then this is actually one from the jewel tones that I'm going to be using, the orange one. When I first got it out, I thought I'd use it on my giraffe card. Look how awesome that is. So let me show you how great that is to emboss. And this folder is just absolutely wonderful. And again, I'm just using a small piece, but look at it, just covers really nice big hunk there. Let's move this out of the way, and I'll bring my Cuttlebug girl in here. There we go. And again, we're not going to use our C plate. We're going to use an A plate, a B plate, and another B plate, and simply roll it through. Now, that might be a little stiffer for you to take through your Cuttlebug because of the metal. It shouldn't, but sometimes metal have a different thickness, so don't be too concerned. But you know the rule is, if you can't turn it, don't push it, because you will break your Cuttlebug, and oh, heaven forbid that we would hurt her. Oh my goodness, would you just look at how deeply that's embossed. Oh, back to the show here. Let me use my little sanding block. And what I liked about this folder, when it embosses so deeply, I was able to sand the actual design and not really scuff up the inside too much. And I really like that, because some of the designs are not as deep, so you get a lot of excess scratching, whatever you want to call on there. Sand this up. Now what I think I'm going to do, I'll show you what I'm going to do with this. I don't throw away any of my little scraps of metal either, but you know that's just who I am. I don't throw things away. So I am actually going to show you what I'm going to do with my little scraps. Let me bring up my little, I use little hunks of gauze, little Steve's t-shirts that he's outgrown, or they look yucky and I tear them up. Look at that embossing when you sand that. Isn't that beautiful? Let me show you what I did with some of the metal, just to give you an idea. This is one of those little cheap frames that you can get at your local hobby stores for like $1 or whatever. So I take my scraps of metal and I just start placing them randomly until I get it filled up. Now sometimes I do different designs, but this one I've decided I'm going to go ahead and use all of the Crackle. And then I just use my paper stump and get a nice fold there, and then I'll bring it over here and I'll use my Tim Holtz scissors and cut that. So I'm going to finish doing this. Here's some of the little leftover blue. I'm just going to put hunks here and there, and this will make a beautiful frame. When I get it all finished, I'll post it on Crop Stop's gallery so you can take a peek at it. So don't throw away your scraps of metal. So there you go. Now, so that's the embossing. Let me show you what I did on my card with my Copic markers. Let me bring that in here to show you. I never ever thought too much about stamping on printed paper. But when I saw this here, laying here, this little dotted paper, I thought, you know what, I think my giraffe would work on there. And then I thought, well, how am I going to color it? Well, there's no limits to your Copics. Actually, you can use your Memento markers. Any markers will do. But I don't know if I can bring this in close. I actually just colored with one color on the giraffe's body. I don't know if you can pick that up or not on the camera, but there's like two-tone. It looked like I actually did shading on there, and I didn't. Look how easy that is. I just took, now this particular one's an E51, and I just started coloring right over top. Now, of course, I stamped my image with a Memento ink pad because they are absolutely the best ink pads to do when you're going to do any kind of coloring with markers or even watercolor pencils because they don't bleed and fade and everything. So there you go. And I just colored to the tip. Look how nice. I mean, it looks like I went to lots of trouble to blend, and that's the only color I'm going to use on there. Which, you know, that's one of the characteristics of the Copic markers, is that you can blend different colors and get some absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous looks to your ink. Oops, wrong end. And I don't know, maybe I should tell you that where there's a little gray ring at one end, there's not at the other. So where the little gray ring is your brush, and on the other end is your beveled edge. And now what I do with my beveled edge, this is another little trick. I don't color with it very often, so I use it to border my card. Look at that. Can you see that on the camera, how easy that is? Now, one of the things that I've done, and this will probably drive Copic marker people crazy. Oops, I did a little quick there. I actually took one of my Copics, the black one, and I took a straight edge blade craft knife, and I cut a slit in it so that it would fit right over the edge of the card, and it made a perfect line every time. Now, the reason I wasn't too concerned is because, you know, you can also get replacement tips for your markers. But you can see I was able to do it without cutting it, so you can do that too. Oh, so let me get back to this. So the one with the little ring is where your little brush end is, and I just went right down his little leg. I know most of you out there know how to color, but I was just so happy when I realized that I could paint on the stamp and do my coloring with my Copics right on a printed piece of paper, and how cool it turned out. And I'm not blending any of the colors, which a lot of people stay away from the Copics because they don't want to blend, but I'm telling you, they're awesome markers, so you have the option of doing either or. Let's see. Oh, I picked up green. Now, what on earth would I want the green for? I don't. So I'm going to stop there because I actually want to get a different color. But can you see how cool that is? And that's just one color on top of that giraffe. Too cool. Now, you're probably going to ask me, where did I get this Good Friends or Easy to Spot? I just saw that on a card at the Target store, and it was a polka dotted card, and I wrote it on, you know, I do that a lot. I take their little ideas and write it on a little scratch pad in my purse. And so I came home and I put it on my computer and did some fancy font there. And for some reason today I decided I wanted to chop off the bottom of my circle. Don't know why, but I did, just to make it different. The other thing I did, and I wanted to say this in the other video, and I totally forgot, when you treat your papers with the Tattered Angels Glim, Glam, even the Mist, sometimes you'll see that your paper is going to be real warped, and it won't lay flat on your card. So what I do is I pop over to my little Janome sewing machine and I give it a little zigzag around the edge, and I call that a card. So what do you think about that? Alright, so don't forget, you've got to check out these new folders by Creative Expressions. They are just wonderful, wonderful, and you can get all of that at cropstop.com. Thanks, and have a great day. Bye!